Hello, it's Griff. My phone is doing something weird. I hope this is recording. I dropped my phone and cracked it, and it looks terrible. Looks like it's a Samsung. Look like it got jumped by a bunch of mean iPhones. It's got cracks all through it and everything. So hopefully this is working out. I guess I'll find out when I'm done. So anyways, I'm here in Humboldt Redwood State Park. I just got off work and I just did this presentation and I wanted to do it for you guys too. I see a thumb, so it means you guys can see me. Yay! So I'm in this beautiful dry creek bed. At least it's wet, but dry creek bed. It hasn't rained enough to totally fill up. And this is National Hiking Day. So I hope you guys are getting oh, cool. Thanks, Sandra. It's working. I hope you guys are getting a chance to go outside for National Hiking Day. I mean, the weather's perfect for it, I guess. So, I am going to tell you some of the most common questions I get asked as a natural resource and cultural interpreter. People come to the park and they're like, where's the biggest tree? Where's the albino tree? Where's the drive-through? Wait, it's usually a drive-through, albino, and where's the tallest tree? Okay. And, I'll help you out with that. But there's so many more interesting things here that are really, really small that you don't have to take tons of time to see, but you could just look at it a little bit more carefully. So look, I'm just going to give you an example. See this right here? This is a measuring tape that I use to measure my belly because I have a tendency, so I put it around where my belly button is at. I have a tendency to gain weight really fast and lose it. And so if I can keep around 40 inches or 40 to 42 inches around my belly, then I treat myself by going to Trinity. I think it's called the Sea Grills, my favorite restaurant, and they have sourdough pancakes that are super good. So, and I want them so bad, but if I eat too many, then I won't fit into my very expensive uniforms. So I gotta stay on top of it. But we can take this fat belly tape here and, oh, tripping. Oh, still tripping. We can take this fat belly tape and make a circle out of it and stick it right here. Can you guys see what I'm doing? We can stick it right there, okay, and make this circle, and we could spend the rest of our life, even if I live to be 167 and a half, I could spend the rest of my life just studying this one inside of the circle, okay? And you're like, but there's just some redwood sorrel and some dead leaves. How are you going to see me? You're going to learn about that in 5 minutes? No. First of all, you need to know a fancy word, okay? It's called phenology, okay? Phenology, not fentanyl, phenology. And that's like the study of natural phenomena changing in patterns or in seasons, like cyclical, okay? So for example, this fern right here, this is a lady fern, and her above portions, she's a perennial plant, so she lives year around for multiple years, but her above portions are deciduous, like a deciduous tree. So right now she looks terrible. She's like a bad hair day in the fall, or I don't know, some of you might like to change the colors, but she'll be back in the spring, beautiful and unfurling, okay? So that's phenology. And we come back another type of year and she'll have insect bites on her. So over the year, she changes her look. So just the phenology of this little plot right here, the phenology is going to change. Redwood sorrels are going to bloom. Some of these leaves are going to decompose. Okay, so you could study that, just that right there. And then some mushroom spores can blow in. And now you got these crazy mushrooms growing in there. And then a deer or a squirrel, we'll say deer, will come in and say, ooh, mushrooms, I love mushrooms. And they'll hoof stomp all around it, compact the soil, and maybe change the way it drains, okay, and eat the mushrooms. And so now the soil composition, the soil is different because it's been compacted, okay? Also, we're in a dry creek bed. So a flood can come and it could strip away all this vegetation and make this a steep bank where hardly anything can grow for a long time. Or a bird could fly by and be like, and poop inside this circle. And there could have been seeds in their poop, which there often is. So now we might get a bush growing in here that will shade out all these other plants and it'll just be one bush. Or maybe a bear will come by and poop in it and it'll be like, if you've ever seen bear poop, it's big. And it could have hundreds of seeds, and so you could get like a thicket of huckleberries growing out of that and change everything, okay? And the bacteria in the poop could change everything. And then maybe one of the plants that the bear pooped out was allelopathic. So allelopathic is like plants are in competition with each other for sunlight, soil, and water, and they can't move, so they can't like grab each other and strangle the other plant next to it. Oh, that was terrible imagery, huh, wasn't it? But it's, it's nature, so some of the imagery is not pleasant. But since they can't do that, allelopathy allows some plants to like poison others. Okay, so it can secrete stuff out of its leaves or roots or fruit or whatever and it can inhibit the growth of the plants around it. So eucalyptus does that, black walnut does that, knapweed does that, a bunch of plants do that. So if those plants get in that plot, they could kill everything else and be the only one growing, okay? There's a lot of things that can happen in this one little tiny plot that can change it, okay? So when you come out here, it might look one way this time, but it might look a totally different way in a week from now. So the best way to come out into nature is not to look for the biggest and the greatest and the whatever list. It's to look carefully. Look at things like it's the first time, like you're on another planet, you just landed, you had your own space saucer, and you got out of the space saucer, and you're like, I'm on a new planet. Like that's how you should be when you come to the redwoods, or anytime you're outside. I'm on a new planet. Let me look at it really, really carefully. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's spores on the bottom, and there's little lines in it. Something's inside there eating a leaf miner insect. Like you'll just keep making discoveries, and that's the best way to go in the outdoors, is to do it present and mindful and really looking and asking. If you're with kids, ask them questions that don't have a yes or no answer. Ask them, say, are the plants in this Griff's fat billy tape, are the plants inside there, are they the same or are they different? How do you think they got there? And ask these questions that don't end in yes or no. And then your kids will be able to inform you and show you how you should be observing nature, because they're not quite as like conditioned as we are as we get older. So one of my favorite quotes is by, one of my favorite quotes is by Noah Harari, Yuval Noah Harari. And he says, the greatest scientific discovery was a discovery of ignorance. And I totally believe that, because when I started college years ago, I thought I was really smart, okay? And then after I was in college for a while, and I was a seasonal employee working with all kinds of different people, and I was traveling around, and I was living life. By the time I was 29, 30, when I graduated, it took me that long to graduate, sorry. I feel like I didn't know hardly anything. I didn't feel smart at all anymore. I was way smarter before I started college. Well, the reason why is because I didn't know much there was to learn until I went to college, until I started traveling, until I started working with PhDs and master's students and stuff like scientists. And I realized that I only know a little tiny bit, which is good news, because it means that I could spend the rest of my life being insatiably curious about this beautiful planet we live on, and I still won't know anything. For some reason, that's really comforting to me. So anyways, you should, next time you go outside, you should pretend like you'd landed on your space saucer and you walked outside and you're looking at everything like it's the first time you saw it. You're not going to label it fern or plant or green or anything. You're going to leave all the labels out, and you're just going to observe. And I guarantee you will feel present. Take a deep breath before you do it. Go, and then get out your space saucer and start observing. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful National Hiking Day. It stopped raining, so I'm going to get my hike on, and I will talk to you all soon.